Hey guys, Alex Rigby here from T3 Marketing. I'm here to give you as much value as possible. Right now, I'm here to go through exactly what it takes to land your first appointment setting role. A lot of people have issue with this because they find that it's super hard, super difficult to go and get that first offer because it's almost like people are looking for experience or they're looking for training. And a lot of people will not pay for training, right? Because they believe they can do it on their own. They believe that they can go around the normal path. Well, it is possible. It is possible to do it without training. You don't necessarily need it straight away, but it will take a lot longer for you to get to that desired destination. So let's get started. We created this document, me and my colleague King. It's showing you kind of like a step by step guide on how you can go about landing your first appointment setting role. I'll start off with the first point that we wanted to make. So let me go back here. So the first point is optimizing your social media profile to look professional. This is super important, okay? Right. So an easy yet crucial step is cleaning up your social media. You want the business owner to have a good first impression of you even before you're in an interview with them. First impressions last a lifetime. The more professional you look, the more serious they'll take you. Make sure to have an actual picture of you as your profile picture. Use your real name. Clean up posts in case they're inappropriate. Add a bio, etc. There's certain things you can do. Okay? Right, so I've added a perfect example below here, which is actually my Instagram on the left side, as you can see here. And then on the right side is my Facebook profile. These are just two examples of how I would go about kind of presenting myself to everyone that comes on to my account and actually checks me out. So this just gives you a better idea of what we're referring to, okay? So from my experience, having a professional looking social media profile is really simple, but it's an effective strategy to getting your foot in the door when it comes to finding that first position. Okay, so hopefully that you guys got the idea from that. Let me go on to the next point. So the next one is, if you haven't already, educate yourself on what type of niches you can possibly work in. This is a very important one because not a lot of people realize exactly what is out there. There are tons and tons of business owners out there that are looking for sales teams. And the beauty of it is it's remote as well. So you can do it from home. You can do it from wherever you are. You can even go on holiday, take your laptop, take your phone, as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection or some type of mobile data connection and you can speak to people still, then you're still able to set appointments. You're still able to qualify people. Okay? So yeah, let's move on to the next bit. So that's right. So once you've set up your social media profiles and you position yourself as a professional to the masses, you then have to figure out what type of niches are out there and which ones you particularly want to work in over others. This way, you're only going to be applying for offers you really want to work with. One thing I do say about picking and choosing your perfect niche, right? Beggars can't be choosers, and that is very key. So your first remote sales job doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be an opportunity that gives you the space and the warm environment for you to grow and learn. Because something that I learned from when I joined the remote sales world, you have to figure out what type of niches that are out there. You have to figure out what type of niches are out there and which ones you particularly want to work with over others. This way, you're only going to be applying for offers you really want to work with. You can use your first opportunity to learn and soak up all the information or knowledge that comes your way. That's super important. A lot of people focus on the money side of it, and that obviously that's important. We all want to make a good amount of money, and that's why we're actually going into this industry, is for the money side of things. It's a very lucrative opportunity, right? So what you want to do is you want to focus on the knowledge, because knowledge is power. And essentially, once you have that knowledge, you're able to apply that wherever you go. So even if you don't make the desired amount of money that you want to make in your first offer, you'll have the knowledge and you'll gain experience that is so key in this type of industry. And then when you move on to the next offer, or if you move to another company, or even if you want to work for two companies at the same time, at least you'll be able to use that knowledge and information you gained and take that elsewhere. So that's another key thing as well. That way you position yourself as a student of the game, and then once you've proven yourself to the business owner, you can then choose to move on to another offer that suits you and your interests, or stay with. Yeah, so yeah, it's more or less saying that, look, you do have options here. It's not a case of you have to give full-time capabilities to one offer. You can do part-time with two or three. That's absolutely up to you. My advice, my personal advice, would probably be sticking to one offer at a time, to start off with, just to get the hang of things. And then once you become more competent and more confident, then that's when you can start to branch out and start to actually look for other offers at the same time. But again, I'll leave that to you guys. That's totally up to you. Now, let's move on to the next bit. So, right, here we go. So there are plenty of niches to choose from, but it all depends on your personal preference. If you want to work for a company that resonates with you or aligns with your hobbies or interests, then you can just apply for those. Simple as. Although, the drawbacks of that is that if you do choose to do that, you will most likely lower your chances of getting a role, as you can imagine, because you're lowering the sample size of what you can look for and what you can reach out for, right? So the perfect examples here would be fitness offers, mindset/psychology offers, dating offers, etc. There's lots of little ones like this. Personally, in my experience, I would say mine would be fitness based, and even mindset and psychology offers as well. Like, that sounds cool to me personally because of my hobbies and because of what I'm interested in. I would say those are the two right there that I would kind of earmark, and those are the ones that I would apply for, right? And I did when I first started. That's exactly what I did. I'll go more into that as we go further into things. So, if you're a person that focuses solely on the amount of money you want to make, and you're not really too bothered about the niche linking and aligning with your hobbies or your interests, then look no further than these. So, right now, I would say this is based on market research and what's out there. But there are other things that I probably missed out here as well. Do your own research, of course. That's always the piece of advice I'd give to people. So number one is done for you services, okay? So that could be anything to do with marketing. That would be the perfect example here. So you can have offers that will help you market your company. So they'll build a website for you, they'll build an outreach system for you, they'll build a sales team for you. So that's a done for you service, right? But the reason why it's actually linked to a lot of money and making a lot of money is the fact that these done for you services, they do, literally, it says it in the title, they do everything for you. So you just have to pay them, and then you sit back, obviously watch the magic happen, and then everything's put in place for you, right? So those offers cost a lot. I've seen some as high as $20,000 to get the services of a done for you service. So you can imagine how much you're making as a setter if you set up a deal that closes. Or if you set up a few, can you just imagine the amount you'd be making per week? Okay, so let's move on to number two. So that's e-commerce. That's something that I'm not too familiar with. I haven't actually looked into e-commerce too much, but I do know that depending on the offer and depending on the business owner that you're working with and the sales team, of course, and how early it's been established. Has it been established recently? Has it been established years ago? Has it got social proof? All this kind of stuff. So it depends, of course. All these offers depend, right? But if we're looking at the top level of e-commerce offers, they do yield a lot of money to the sales team, whether that be a setter or whether that be a closer. The third one, sales mentorships. It kind of speaks for itself. Mentorships are so key. I know some mentors out there that will charge £20,000, $20,000, whatever you want to call it, for them to mentor you on a one-to-one basis. And I do understand why that it costs that much, but at the same time, like, if you're wondering why, it's mainly because they've been there and done that. So they have proven themselves over years, if not decades. And then now they're in a position where they want to help others and kind of, I guess, give them that knowledge that they're looking for to take them to the next step. Obviously, it's easier said than done. You've got, it takes two to tango, as they say. You do need to give all your time, and you do need to be coachable, and you do need to be very observant and very persistent and very analytic. You do need to put your all into it if you are going to go for a mentorship. So that's just explaining mentorships itself. Like I said, 20 grand, for example, if you were to set a deal and it was to close and say you get 5% of that 20 grand, that's £1,000 just from one deal being set. And all you've had to do is qualify someone, get them on a call with your closer, and then the closer closes the deal. And then you get paid. That's your job done. Obviously, there's little bits that we'll go into again in further videos that I post. I'll go into further depth on exactly how you would go about qualifying these people. But for now, I'm just covering this for you. So, number 4, trading courses and mentorships. So it's similar. It kind of links into number 3. So I won't go too much into that, but obviously trading courses. We all know trading courses can cost quite a lot of money. And you can understand how popular trading is as well to the masses, right? You see it all over the place. Crypto, Forex, stocks and shares. There's all types of trading that you can do in the world now. And a lot of people want to get involved in that. Number 5, networking groups. As you know, your network is your net worth, right? It's as simple as that. Whoever you surround yourself with, whoever you revolve yourself around, are the people you will most likely to be like, right? So if you put yourself around people that are making a lot of money and they're giving you inspiration, they're motivating you, they're competing with you, there's lots of things, right, that you can get from being within these networking groups. And the beauty of that is that you're actually going to be making a lot of money because they're so easy to sell. So that's why you would most likely want to work within a networking group type of offer. Because, I mean, let's think of the examples, right? You've got Ayman Gadzi. I'm pretty sure he has a networking group. Same with Andrew Tate. Same with Luke Belmar. I'm sure there's others like I haven't mentioned, right? I'm sure Alex Hormozi has some type of thing as well. So these offers go for a lot. And if you're a setter and you're setting these deals up, they will put you in the right position to make a lot of money if you do it the right way, of course. Now we've covered the niches. Now let's get into the good stuff. So, right, so the first thing is outreach. Okay, so this is the third point, okay? So join high ticket sales communities on every single platform you can. Possible, right? So that involves Facebook, IG, X, LinkedIn, Discord groups, and any other opportunities you can find, right? So the secret, and it's not really a secret, but we call it a secret, is to send the maximum amount of messages you can in an hour on every single platform, right? For example, on Facebook, you can send 10 to 12 messages an hour. If you do that on every single platform, let's say Facebook, IG, X, LinkedIn, that's around 40 plus messages an hour, right? If you can outreach for 8 hours a day, that's 320 messages a day, okay? That's a lot. So, let's scroll down here. Yeah, so this is another example. So let's say you're working a 9-to-5 job, okay? And you're in this situation, you're a student and you don't have 8 to 9 hours to outreach, okay? Then in that case, you roughly have 3 to 5 hours instead, right? So in 3 to 5 hours, at least you'll have 120 to 200 messages a day compared to 320, right? It's still a lot, okay? And then if you do the maths on it, it's between 840 to 1,400 messages a week, right? You can't tell me that if you were doing this every week, you weren't going to find multiple opportunities to get on to interviews with these people at least, right? Obviously, the interview's the next step. You've got to think about that after. Worry about that after. The first thing is to do the outreach, okay? You've made your account look professional, right? You figured out what type of niche you want to work in, right? Or you figured out what niches there are in the first place, just so that you're more aware of things. Now, let's say you're a busy person. Of the 840 people that you've messaged in a week, only 20% of them have replied to your message, which is the worst case scenario. Let's just do like a little hypothetical here, okay? So 168 of them replied to you. Out of the 168, let's say only 30% of them agreed to hop on an interview with you, right? That's around 50 people. Out of the 50 people, let's say only 30 to 50% show up to the interview. You have 20 to 25 interviews or chances to land an appointment setting position every single week. Now imagine how much those chances increase if you do more volume, right? So say you work 9 to 5 during the week, but what about the weekend? I know the weekend is the weekend and everyone sees that as a time to relax, right? Well, you're wrong. That's actually the time to put the most work in, because the average person will just take time off on the weekend. They'll use that as their time to relax. They'll use that time to kind of just take a seat back and just take a seat and just be, yeah, I'm just going to chill because it's the weekend. It's a Saturday, it's a Sunday. I'm going to go out drinking or I'm going to go out with my friends. And that's cool. You can do that, of course. But if you want to get ahead of the competition and you don't want to be labeled as an average person, you want to be above average, or you want to be one of the top G's in the world, you want to be one of the top level people, then you've got to act that way. And you've got to question yourself, how would these people act? They would act by taking action. Do you know what I'm saying? They would do everything in their power to get ahead of their competitors. And the only way to do that is sometimes to work on the weekends, right? Sometimes you've got to work 7 days a week. That's just how it goes sometimes. But this isn't even working. This is just outreaching. This is just applying for a job, right? It should be quite simple in comparison to actually doing a full-time job. So use the weekend, right? Take those chances. Increase your chances, right? Think about it, man. The more you outreach, the more you'll get back. The more opportunities you'll get. And those opportunities, who cares if half of them don't work out? or if the interview was a waste of time, or if they were looking for someone else or someone that's better for the role. Who knows? But put yourself in the door, put your foot in the door, get yourself in the room. That's the first step, okay? So, as you can see, there's a little bit more to go, but just these 3 steps, if you're able to optimize your routine and your schedule to be able to do these 3 things, and if you tick these off, you will land your first setting role very easily. It might take a little bit of time, but patience isn't always a bad thing. Sometimes patience is a virtue, and sometimes it's meant to be, right? So you might go through 100 interviews. Well, it probably wouldn't be 100, but I'd say if you would go through, say, 20 interviews and none of them kind of fit what you were looking for, or you didn't fit what they were looking for in a setter, who knows? If that is the case, that's fine. You've put yourself out there, you've taken action, which is the main thing that we're trying to get here. Take action. Be an action taker, okay? So, let's move on to the next section. Right, okay. Okay, so there's a little bit more here. So again, another possible way to land a position is through your network. Again, I know we linked that before when we were talking about networking groups, right? So this is another reason why that's so lucrative. So anyway, so another way to land it is through your network. You can look at your current network and see if any of your friends that either own an offer or know/work for an offer. You never know. Again, your network is your net worth, right? You can potentially be referred to getting your first appointment setting role by the people you know, which is an even better way to get in, because when you're referred by someone that's already in with the owners and in with these people within that company, as soon as they refer you, that's it. You're more or less in, because they'll say, oh yeah, we'll give them a chance. And then they'll probably put you on a trial basis to see what you're like, and they'll give you a chance to learn the offer, adapt to it, and then adapt your approach and start learning and start improving. One thing I did want to mention after saying this bit as well is that don't rely on other people to refer you. That's one thing that's 100% something you've got to know. Rely on your own intuition, rely on your own outreach to look for the offer you want. Don't always go down the easy route and look for people within your network that are going to try and refer you. Don't always try and reach out, but that can also be a technique. If you're finding it hard and you think that, oh, I'd love to work for that offer, and I know someone that already works there. So yeah, if it works out perfectly, then great. But if it's a case of just relying on someone else to get you a job, like, it's just not the way to go. You want to do it yourself, you want to learn how to do it, and then you can teach other people how to do it, just like I'm doing. But anyway, let's move on. So, while outreaching, since you've joined sales communities, reach out to people in the group to expand your network. You never know what these connections might bring you in the future to expand your opportunities. Absolutely, again, it's so key. Your network is your net worth. I'll say it over and over and over again until it gets into people's heads. Who you surround yourself with is so important. That's how you go about your day, depending on who you're around, who is advising you, who is talking to you on the day-to-day. And if you can find people on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on LinkedIn, whatever it be, whatever platform, TikTok even, you can find people that want the same as you. Not exactly the same, but they're looking to get into remote sales, or they're already in remote sales. They've already got their first offer, or they're experienced. They're in by a year. They've had a year of sales experience. You can speak to these people. You can get an insight from these people, right? So it's very important to network. That goes across the board. I'm talking in all types of careers. That's not even just sales or remote sales for that fact. It's actually across life. Build your network, build your net worth. Okay? So let's move on to the next section. Do some research, read books. When you're with T3, you can even practice appointment setting already to get experience. Okay? Prepare for interviews. Search up the businesses you have interviews with. Learn about what they're offering so you're fully prepared. Because at the end of the day, if you fail to prepare to fail on that interview. Okay, you can't come out of that interview thinking to yourself, oh my God, man, why didn't I get the offer? I really needed to get that offer. It was perfect for me. And then if you didn't prepare, if you didn't research and prepare answers and prepare your technique of how you're going to approach the interview, then you can't really blame anyone other than yourself. So always do your preparation. Always work on that side of things with whatever you do. But especially for an interview when you're speaking to someone that you're trying to impress. Act prepared and they will take you seriously, which is what we're teaching you to do here. So the next part is to study our free frameworks on how to prepare for interviews, outreach templates, even other frameworks out there that are with other companies as well. Do as much research as you can, right? It can't hurt to do more research. Work on your personal brand. Post your experience if you have. even if it's not related to sales. It could be related to just your day to day. It could be related to your mindset. It could be a challenge you're taking on physically or mentally. It could be fitness content. It could be nature content. It could be anything. It could be just photography in general. You might have a hobby, right? Who knows? You might have certain interests that you might want to film and you might want to put out there. Film your journey, film your experience, film what you're going through, because it gives you social proof and it shows people where you came from and where you are when they originally meet you or come across your content. That way, you don't have to explain to people. It's already there. The whole journey's there. Everything's there. Your experience is there. People know by just checking out your profile, which saves you time, it saves them time, and that way everyone goes home happy. Okay, so when I say we, I'm talking about triple threat marketing, or formerly known as T3 marketing, depends on what you go with. I just say T3. So we have another free framework on building your personal brand in T3's free school community. But basically, you want to post consistently on IG, TikTok, and YouTube to expand your reach and social proof. Again, we will go into this a lot further. Obviously, watch this space. There's a lot more coming. This is just the beginning, okay? Better to start now than later, okay? So this is something I added in. Just imagine the results you can get by starting right now. Right now. After this video. Start right now. Why not? Do your research. Find out the first step towards it, right? Again, look out for the personal branding document, value document that we're going to be giving you access to very, very soon. Exactly that. So just imagine the results you can get by starting right now in comparison to adopting the I'll start tomorrow attitude. Be an action taker. What's the worst that can happen? Think about it. Don't think about the negatives. Think about the positives of doing that, right? Say it doesn't get you to where you want to get to. It's not going to hurt you. It's not going to damage you in any way, shape, or form. It could actually benefit you out of nowhere. You never know. You don't know who you're going to reach through doing these types of things, right? You're gonna network out to a lot more people. People might share your content. People might comment. People might like it. People might ask for more content. Who knows? You just don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what doors it's going to open for you in the future. So really, really keep that in mind. It's so important. Anyway, so this wraps up T3's free framework on how to land your first appointment setting role. Like it says here, I hope you found value in this framework, and I do hope it helps you find your first job. I'm sure it will, but if not, there's much more source coming from us. There's much more value coming from us. So do watch this space. Feel free to hit us up if you want one-on-one mentorship. I do offer that. We also have an owner of the company T3 that is offering one-on-one mentorship as well. He's got lots of experience. Again, I'll get further into that as we go along. We also offer frameworks. We even have a free school community as well that we're offering access to. I will drop the link in the bio if you want to check that out. And yeah, obviously there's a lot more to come from us, but this is just the first step, is to getting your first appointment setting role. The next video will probably be targeting appointment setting in general to give you more of a background on appointment setting, and probably go into a little bit more about closing as well, just to help you understand exactly what those two things are and what the differences are. And then yeah, obviously I hope you guys got the value from it, and I hope to see you on the next video. Take care.